Hey, isn't this just Eclipse's old YBA series just repackaged to suit the visual Western audience?
No. Alright, I'll be honest. I am definitely taking Eclipse's old series and reusing the format for Bridger Western.
Nigga, didn't I just say that shit?
So, yeah. Since this is the first, and hopefully not last, video in the series, I'll be explaining how this works. Every video will start with an abstract. In scientific speak, an abstract is a paragraph at the start to summarize the main ideas of a text, or in this case, a video. I'll then go over the moves of the stand and some general info, like passives and properties of certain moves. I'll then go over the general playstyle and good strategies to use to make the stand effective. Then I'll point out some good cards to use, and then come to a conclusion. Speaking of ripping from Eclipse, the first video will be done on King Crimson.
Yo, bro, what?
I promise this one was a coincidence.
Just play the fucking video.
King Crimson is a very strong, up-close brawler type stand, having highly damaging abilities that can be further buffed to go from already really threatening to downright scary. King Crimson also has some of the highest defensive capabilities in terms of moveset. However, those boons do come at a cost of ease of use and generally bad stats. Overall, King Crimson is a good stand in the right hands, but can be a weakness to those who can't make good with him. Casey has two passives, and they stink bad. Casey has the passive Frail, which cuts your health by 20 points. So if you have a regular health pool before KC, then you'll now have 80. Casey also has a fast stamina drain. Both of these passes will greatly affect the way you play, both on offense and defense. Your M1s will consist of 3 basic attacks that do 13 damage and lead into a stronger hit that deals 18 and will knock back. Next is the E, Eye Poke. A short range, but quick jab that does 9 damage and blinds the right eye of the target for 3 seconds. Eye Poke has a cooldown of 11 seconds. The R move, Chop, sends KC out directly in front of you, doing an overhead chop that ragdolls the target, planting them directly on the floor beneath them, and dealing 22 damage at its base and 35 when upgraded. This move has a decent range, but is quite slow. Chop has a cooldown of 16 seconds. This move will also execute players if it downs them. For the T, Donut or Impale, you'll send KC out in the direction of your cursor. This move will do 29 damage, or 46 if buffed, then an additional 5 damage and a ragdoll once KC tosses the target. The throw can execute. Impale has a cooldown of 28 seconds. G is for the Foresight. Foresight gives you a little purple bar by your stamina bar. This is how long the move lasts. While it's active, you'll be able to dodge up to 2 attacks. Doing so, however, will immediately end the move. This move has a cooldown of 8 seconds if you don't dodge anything, 32 seconds if you dodge 1 attack, and 44 seconds if you dodge 2 attacks. Now the staple. Binding to V is Time Erasure. When activated, TE makes you invulnerable to all damage and invisible to everyone around you. You'll also leave a clone behind when activated. While invisible, you will gain a speed buff, the ability to pass through walls, and you are granted a damage buff on Chop or Donut. TE has a cooldown of 19 seconds. Last, but certainly not least, is Time Skip. To activate, you must press G and then V. When Foresight is active, you will be able to see the future positions of you and the people around you. This is represented by the red little character things. Pressing V will cause yourself and the people around you to move to those future positions. These positions change depending on what directional key you and the people around you are pressing. If you or the people around you are pressing W, the future position will be placed in front. If they are holding S, it'll be behind, etc, etc. This move shares a cooldown with Foresight. Okay, Casey kinda has a large move list, but now we can finally move to the playstyle / strategy section. But before I can even do that, I have to address something. I lightly touched on them before, but I want to give them more detail due to the fact of how much they impact the way you play the stand. As KC, your maximum HP will be set to 80, crumbling at even the slightest intent of harm towards you. As KC, you really need to manage your risk and play good defense. Overzealousness can easily get you killed in 1 or 2 moves. KC also has a really high stamina drain, which means you will have to adapt to it. KC has tools in his kit to help with its stamina, but I'll save that for when we go over the moves. For now, I'll give you a basic tip. When using stand skills, and yes, this should apply to all stands that require stamina to use, you can summon your stand, and during the summoning animation, you can press the button for the attack that you want, and your stand will do it immediately. And during the attack animation, you can unequip your stand. What this will do is call back your stand at the first available frame possible, saving you a massive amount of stamina. Now, once again, this should work for most stands. I'm covering it here because Casey gets a lot out of this tech. Okay, we can get into the actual moves now. First up is eye poke. I don't like it. I mean, it's a fine move. I just don't see having a high enough value to be used under normal circumstances. It does 9 damage and has pitiful range. But what about the utility of the move? It blinds. That has to be good, right? Not really. It's only a 3-second blind, and to be fair, it doesn't really do much for you. The only reason why Wrecking Ball's blind is so effective is because it makes you panic. And it does that because it's blinding you while also chunking your health bar. And besides that, if I'm going to be that close to where I can get an eye poke off, I'd rather just M1 with my sword, do 16 or more damage, then try to follow up with a chop when they try to dash away. Overall, eye poke is just not worth wasting the stamina on. But I don't know, maybe there's some tech god who knows how to make eye poke the best move in the game. I don't know. Now we have the actual good moves. Chop is a great move, but needs to be handled with care, like the rest of KC. Chop is a medium ranged attack that does good damage in ragdolls. If you're close enough when the chop lands, you do have the potential to combo after it. If you have like a saber, you could have one, or potentially with a steel dagger, you could catch them with a grab. However, if you are using a gun, you might not be able to get the shot off, so make sure to have a good aim. Do note that the travel speed on KC during chop is quite slow, making it kind of reactable. To use this move effectively, you kind of want to be fairly up close to the target so that they don't have enough time to dodge. Or you can combo this move with the Freerunner Slide Tackle, which can basically guarantee the move. Other than that, Chop is a fairly standard move. Chop actually has 2 hits and not 1. It's just that the first hit doesn't do damage. The first hit is made to like stun the target, and then the second hit is like the 22 damage. Next is Donut. This move is amazing if used properly. This move has a second of startup, but after it finishes, KC will be sent at high speeds, meaning that you're going to want your target to have some amount of distance from you so they can't just cancel the move during the startup. Similarly to Chop, you don't want the opponent to be too far away from you despite the range of the move, because the long windup allows people to react and dodge if they are far enough. Donut kind of have this sort of Goldilocks zone where the moves are the most effective and easiest to hit. To better your chances of hitting your target, you're going to want them to be in this general area. Once again, Donut is a very straightforward move, just like Chop. What isn't straightforward, on the other hand, are KC's utility moves. We are gonna be here for a while. Time erase. Yeah, we're gonna be here for a fucking while. The Time Erasure is an amazing ability simply due to the sheer amount of utility it provides. Go over them one at a time. First is the offensive aspect. TE can buff any attack you use during its duration, except eye poke, because eye poke sucks. Doing this, however, will end TE early, and remember this: if you use an attack in TE, it will cancel first, and then your selected attack will come out. To use TE properly, you are going to want to position your opponent in the Goldilocks zone that I mentioned before, while you're also attacking them from an off angle. TE can be very predictable, so if you just pop out in front of your opponents, you can very well get done in before your attack fires. Outside of the offensive capabilities, TE is also really good for mobility and locating opponents. While in TE, you gain a very large speed boost and the ability to see through walls. This means if you are chasing someone, you can quite easily catch up to them, and if you were to ever lose them during the chase, TE deletes all the terrain, so you can easily find them again. Lastly are the defensive capabilities of TE. If you are being beaten up, or if you feel like you've been holding block for a little too long, you can pop TE and alleviate yourself of all pressure. From here, you could choose to do one of 2 things: run away and heal yourself up with tonics, or hit the opponent with a sneak attack while their guard is down, completely robbing them of their turn. Another cool thing you can do is make time stops completely useless. When you see a time stop about to be activated, you can use TE and completely nullify all the damage. And depending on what TS stand it is, you might have enough time on your TE counter left over after the stop time, so you can potentially start up your own offense. Alright, I've gushed about TE for long enough. What are the downsides? Firstly, it's extremely predictable. I brushed up on this earlier, but I want to talk about it a little bit more. TE leaves a stationary clone of yourself wherever you activated it. Against good opponents, TE will become more of a risk to use if used offensively. You can circumvent this by using TE behind cover, or by catching up with people and then using it to buff your attacks. Other than that, you're very liable to getting punished for improper uses of TE. And seeing how TE is also a very powerful defensive tool, you might just die for your mistake and have nothing to do against it. And lastly, TE kinda suffers from its own success. TE can be used for so many different things that if you improperly use it at one moment in the fight, you can leave yourself very vulnerable later on if it's still on cooldown. For example, if you're fighting on the world and you use your TE early to get damage off, you are now vulnerable to a TS combo that will 1000% kill you when you could have survived it if you still had your TE. Remember, you are extremely squishy, so one wrong use of TE can very well kill you. Foresight is kind of self-explanatory. You gain the ability to dodge 2 attacks with varying cooldowns depending on how many attacks you do. Like TE, you can use Foresight to alleviate all pressure. The difference is that you can keep your offense while Foresight is active. Despite how seemingly basic Foresight seems, there is a trick that you can use with it. You could put KC away while Foresight is active. This means you can use Foresight as both a stamina refill and or a reload break due to KC's higher stamina drain. Time skip can be used in 2 main ways to my knowledge. The first is extending your range. If the future position of your opponent is close to your future position, you could time skip to close the distance. You can also use time skip to scale certain walls and pieces of debris that you normally can't jump up. Honestly, there's probably a lot more you could do with this move, but I'm not smart enough to figure that out yet. So I'll leave that to y'all. If there are other really good uses for time skip, do throw that in the comment section, please. Now we're on to the part that you can't say I ripped from Eclipse. The cards. Realistically, any card that can offset the negative passives can be really good. For health, Time Heals All Wounds is pretty good due to the fact that you can passively heal while in your TE. Sturdy is also really good too. Unfortunately, you can't make it back to 100 HP though. Tonic Master is good as well, as you can run with TE and then pop tonics after it's done. There is the potential for Lay Off the Tonic to be good as well due to the damage buff it gives you, but it is risky due to the damage it can do to you and also the visual impairment. But I'm supposed to be talking about health-based cards, so I'm getting off of this. Quite honestly though, I wouldn't run more than one of these cards due to the fact that you're still going to be very squishy. So if you die in one combo, then these cards will be useless. I'm not saying that they can't be good, just that I personally wouldn't go for them. On the other hand, some cards that I would go for are the ones that help with the stamina issues. Free Runner gives you more stamina, a slightly faster stamina charge, and a slide tackle that you can use to combo chop with. I will say though, the combo does take a good bit of stamina, so do be careful. Hyperventilator could be good due to the fact that you can charge your stamina really fast. The last cards that I want to talk about are Anger Issues and the Saber Talents. The Saber pairs pretty well with KC as your swings do a lot of damage and can parry incoming shots. Players who zone you with bullets can give KC a really hard time, so having some way to bypass that is really strong. And the Cyber M1 attack and the M2 can combo into chop, which is really good. With max stacks of Anger Issues, the damage of your TE donut can become inhumane. Okay, here's the conclusion. This is completely unscripted because I am very lazy. This is also my second take doing this because my first one I ended up rambling and it sounded dumb and stupid, and I'm gonna try and make it better this time. King Crimson is a very good stand, but in order to use it, you yourself have to be an amazing user. You really have to be on your P's and Q's in order to get your defense going, prevent damage, and all that stuff. It also takes a lot of, I don't want to say thinking, but a lot of decision making. You have to decide when and where you're going to use your time erasure. Do you want to use it now and get damage, or maybe save it for when you're in trouble and might take damage? It takes a lot to play King Crimson very effectively. And then you also have his Foresight and his time erasure, or sorry, not time erasure, time skip, that also have multiple layers on top of them as well. King Crimson is a multi-layered stand. That's how I'll put it. A bit complicated, but not too complicated to where I don't believe the average player can learn and use him effectively. I mean, I think I'm the average player, and I did pretty well with him. Okay, that's enough of that. Some finishing notes for this video in general, not just King Crimson. If you want to see more videos like this, because I do want to make this a series. This was a really fun video to put together. So if you want to see more videos like this, like this video and then also subscribe, so then when I do make those videos, you can actually find me again. So yeah, also drop in the comments. I don't know if I'm popular enough to say this, but I don't know if this video is gonna get enough comments, but whatever. go in the comments, say what stand you want to see next video. Just as long as it's not like Tusk or Ball Breaker or D4C. I have my reasons. I have my reasons for why I'm not going for those. And no, it's not just because I'm lazy. But other than those three stands, tell me what you guys want to see, and I'll do it next video. I'm thinking of doing odd numbered videos, so like this one. Those videos will be stands that I want to do, and then even numbered videos will be stands that y'all request in the comments. So if you want a stand to be done, then throw it in the comment section. If you see someone who has already commented the stand you wanted, just like their comment. Yeah, just like their comment, so I know that a bunch of people want to see the same stand without me having to look through the whole thing. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up here. Like and subscribe. Yeah.